The invitation said exclusive couples gathering. It didn't mention the guards with earpieces. It didn't mention the mansion in Queens with cameras on every corner. And it definitely didn't mention what would happen once those heavy oak doors locked behind us. My husband Andrew squeezed my hand as we walked up the marble steps, but not out of affection, out of ownership, like he was making sure his property didn't bolt before the transaction was complete. Because that's what tonight was, a transaction. He'd explained it in the car, voice tight with excitement, eyes on the road. Juliet, these are successful people. They live differently. They understand that marriage doesn't have to be limiting. I'd stared at my hands, folded in my lap, wearing the beige dress he'd picked out, the boring one, the one that made me invisible. What are you saying, Andrew? I'm saying we're exploring options, expanding our horizons. It's just one night. He'd glanced at me then, and I saw it, the calculation, the plan already in motion without my consent. You'll understand when we get there. I didn't understand, but I went anyway because that's what I'd been doing for 3 years, going along, being quiet, making myself smaller so Andrew could feel bigger. The mansion door opened before we knocked. A man in a black suit, Korean, mid-40s, with eyes that saw everything. He didn't smile, just stepped aside and gestured us in. The foyer was marble and crystal, expensive art on the walls, the kind of wealth that didn't need to announce itself. 20, maybe 30 people milled around with champagne glasses. Beautiful people, confident people, the kind who made the rules instead of following them. Andrew's grip on my hand tightened. Remember, he whispered, be friendly, be open-minded. A woman in red approached us, model tall, with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. First time? She asked. That obvious? Andrew laughed, turning on the charm he used with clients. I'm Andrew. This is my wife, Juliet. The woman's gaze slid over me, dismissive. Welcome. The host will be down shortly. Until then, drinks are in the salon. Ground rules will be explained at 8. She walked away, hips swaying. Andrew watched her go, hungry. I felt sick. Andrew, what is this really? Networking, he said. These people, they have connections I need. Just trust me. I'd trusted him when he said we'd wait to have kids until his career stabilized. I'd trusted him when he said I should quit my teaching job to support his promotion. I'd trusted him when he started coming home later and later, smelling like perfume that wasn't mine. Maybe trust was the problem. 8 o'clock came. The crowd gathered in a massive living room, all leather furniture and floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the East River. That's when I saw him for the first time. He descended the staircase like he owned not just the house, but everyone in it. Korean, early 30s, wearing a suit that probably cost more than our car. Sharp jaw, calculating eyes, presence that sucked the air from the room. Everyone went quiet. Thank you for coming, he said, voice deep and controlled with just a hint of accent. I'm Hyun-woo. This is my home. Tonight, you are my guests. His eyes swept the room, pausing on faces, reading people. When his gaze landed on me, it stopped, just for a second, long enough that my breath caught, long enough that Andrew noticed and pulled me closer. Hyun-woo's mouth curved, not quite a smile. The rules are simple. What happens here stays here. Phones were collected at the door for your privacy and mine. You're free to explore, to connect, to discover what you're really looking for. He paused. But understand, once those doors lock at 9, no one leaves until morning. This is a commitment. If you're not certain, leave now. No one moved. Hyun-woo nodded. Good, then let's begin. Music started. Settle. Atmospheric. The crowd began to mix and mingle. Andrew immediately released my hand. I'm going to talk to some people, he said. Mingle, make friends. He walked away before I could respond, making a direct line for the woman in red. I stood there, holding my champagne glass like a lifeline, trying to understand what I was supposed to do. You look lost. I turned. Hyun-woo stood beside me, appearing from nowhere. Up close, he was even more intimidating. Tall, controlled, with eyes that missed nothing. I'm fine, I said automatically. You're not. It wasn't a question. Your husband brought you here without explaining what this is. You're wearing a dress he chose, standing alone while he pursues someone else, and you're trying to decide if you have the courage to leave. I stared at him. How did you... I pay attention. He took my champagne glass, set it on a nearby table. Walk with me. It wasn't a request. We moved through the crowd to a quieter hallway. What is this place? I asked. A test, Hyunwoo said. People come here thinking they want freedom, excitement, escape. What they really want is permission to show who they already are. He looked at me. Your husband, for example, he thinks he's here to trade up, to exchange his boring wife for someone more exciting. The words hit like a slap. He said that? He didn't have to. I can read men like him. Hyunwoo's voice went cold. Men who see their wives as accessories, interchangeable, disposable. You don't know him. I know enough. He stepped closer. I know he's been having an affair with his colleague Madison for 6 months. I know he leased that BMW he can't afford to impress clients who see through him. I know he convinced you to come here tonight so he could pursue someone else with your implicit permission. My throat closed. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve to know who you're married to. Hyunwoo's eyes held mine. And because I've been watching you, Juliet. The air left my lungs. What? 3 months ago, coffee shop in Manhattan. You were reading, completely absorbed. Your husband called and I watched you change. Shoulders tensing, smile fading, making yourself smaller. He paused. I've seen you 6 times since. Always the same, always dimming yourself for him. That's... I didn't know what it was. Terrifying, invasive, or maybe just true. Why? Because I recognize something real when I see it, Hyunwoo said, and I wanted to know if you recognized it too. Before I could respond, Andrew's voice cut through the hallway. Juliet, there you are. He walked toward us, fake smile plastered on, but his eyes were sharp, worried. Mr. Lee, I presume? I'm Andrew Park. Thank you for hosting. It's just Hyunwoo, he said coolly, and you're welcome, though perhaps you should be thanking your wife for coming. Andrew's laugh was forced. Right, well, Juliet's always been a good sport. He reached for my hand. We should get back to the party. Actually, Hyunwoo said, I'd like Juliet to see my art collection, upstairs, privately. The request hung in the air like a threat. Andrew's face went tight. I don't think... I'm not asking your permission, Hyunwoo's voice dropped. I'm extending an invitation to your wife. She can accept or decline on her own. He looked at me. Juliet. Every instinct screamed this was dangerous, that I should say no, should stay with Andrew, should play it safe. But safe had gotten me 3 years of invisible, 3 years of small, 3 years of someone else's affair while I was being good. Okay, I said. Andrew's eyes went wide. Juliet. It's fine, I said, pulling my hand from his. It's just art. Hyunwoo smiled, sharp and satisfied. This way. We left Andrew in the hallway, sputtering. As we climbed the stairs, I heard 9 o'clock chime, heard the heavy click of locks engaging throughout the house. No one leaves until morning. Hyunwoo's private gallery was on the 3rd floor. Real art, museum-quality pieces, Korean calligraphy, contemporary paintings, sculptures that probably cost more than my childhood home. Do you actually want to show me art? I asked. Eventually. Hyunwoo poured 2 glasses of whiskey from a crystal decanter. First, I want you to understand your situation. My situation? Your husband is downstairs right now, negotiating with the woman in red. Her name is Vivian. She's an escort I hired specifically for men like him. He handed me the whiskey. In approximately 20 minutes, he'll suggest they find somewhere private. She'll agree, and you will be free. Free to what? To choose what you want? Hyunwoo sat on the leather couch, utterly relaxed. Your marriage is over, Juliet, whether you know it or not. The question is, what comes next? I drank the whiskey. It burned. Why do you care? Because powerful men build empires on the backs of people they underestimate. His eyes held mine. Your husband underestimated you. I won't make that mistake. You don't know anything about me.
I know you're a teacher, second grade. You love it, but you quit because Andrew said his career needed support. Hyunwoo leaned forward. I know you wanted children, but he keeps delaying. I know you have a master's degree in education you've never used. I know you're brilliant, capable, and completely wasted on a man who sees you as scenery. Tears stung my eyes. Stop! Why? Because it's true? He stood, moved closer. I'm offering you a choice, Juliet. Go back downstairs, pretend tonight didn't happen, stay in a marriage that's killing you slowly, or stay here, let him leave, and find out who you are without him. Stay here? I repeated. With you? Yes. You're insane. Possibly. Hyunwoo smiled, but I'm also honest. I want you, Juliet. I've wanted you since that coffee shop, and tonight your husband handed me the perfect opportunity. My heart hammered. This is kidnapping. You can leave any time you want, he gestured to the door, but your husband can't come back for you. That's my condition. You stay, he goes. You choose. Why would I choose you? I don't even know you. You know I see you, Hyunwoo said quietly. You know I won't make you small. You know that whatever else I am, I'm not a liar who brings his wife to a swap party to justify his affair. He was right. God help me, he was right. What do you want from me? Time, Hyunwoo said. A chance. The opportunity to show you what your life could be. And if I say no? Then you walk out of here tonight with your husband and we never speak again. His voice softened. But Juliet, if you say yes, I'll give you everything he never did. Respect, freedom, power, a life where you don't have to be small. I stood at a crossroads, safety or truth, the known or the terrifying, and then I thought about Andrew downstairs, probably already with Vivian, about 3 years of making myself invisible, about the woman I used to be before I learned to dim my light. If I stay, I said slowly, what happens? You're under my protection. You sleep in the guest suite tonight. Tomorrow we talk about divorce lawyers, your future, what you want to build. Hyunwoo held my gaze. And your husband learns what it costs to discard something precious. I should have run, should have been terrified. Instead, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Alive. Okay, I whispered. I'll stay. Hyunwoo's smile was triumphant. Good, then let's go tell your husband. We descended the stairs together. The party had evolved. Couples had paired off, some disappearing into private rooms, others openly intimate in the salon. Andrew stood by the windows with Vivian, his hand on her waist, laughing. He looked happier than I'd seen him in months. He saw us approaching and his smile faltered. Juliet, there you are. I was just... Leaving, Hyunwoo interrupted. With Vivian, I assume? Andrew's face went red. I don't know what... Don't lie, it's embarrassing. Hyunwoo's voice was casual, deadly. You came here tonight to trade your wife for someone more exciting. Congratulations. Vivian is available. She'll leave with you. Vivian smiled, professional. Ready when you are, Andrew.
Wait. Andrew looked at me. Juliet, this isn't... we were just talking. Were you? I asked quietly. Just talking? His silence was answer enough. Juliet's staying, Hyunwoo said, with me. But you're free to go. The doors will unlock for your exit only. Like hell. Andrew stepped forward. Juliet, we're leaving, now. No, I said. The word felt foreign, powerful. I'm staying. You can't be serious. Andrew's voice rose. You don't even know this guy. You think he's better than me? He's a criminal, Juliet. Everyone knows the Lee family runs half the underground in Queens. And you're a cheating liar who brought his wife to a sex party to justify your affair, I said calmly. So maybe my judgment isn't great, but at least Hyunwoo's honest about what he is. Andrew's face went purple. I forbid it. You don't own me, I said, and God, it felt good. I'm staying. You're leaving. That's how this works.
He looked at Hyun-woo, desperate. "You can't do this. I'll call the police. You'll what?" Hyun-woo's voice went cold. "Explain to the NYPD why you brought your wife to a private party and tried to force her to leave when she chose to stay? Please, make that call." Andrew's jaw worked. He looked around, saw the faces watching, all of them loyal to Hyun-woo, saw Vivian waiting patiently, saw that he'd lost. "Fine," he spat. "Keep her, but when you realize what you're dealing with, when she shows you how boring and needy she really is, don't come crying to me." "I won't," Hyun-woo said. "Now leave, before I change my mind about letting you walk out of here intact." Andrew grabbed his coat, Vivian following. At the door, he looked back one more time. "You'll regret this, Juliet." "I already regret marrying you," I said. "This feels like an upgrade." The door closed behind him, locked, and I stood in a mansion full of strangers, next to a man I barely knew, feeling more myself than I had in years. Hyun-woo's hand found mine. "Are you okay?" "I don't know," I admitted. "Ask me tomorrow." "Fair enough," he squeezed gently. "Come on, I'll show you to your room." The guest suite was bigger than our apartment. King bed, marble bathroom, a balcony overlooking the river. "You'll be safe here," Hyun-woo said. "Locked from the inside. No one will bother you." "And tomorrow?" "Tomorrow we face reality." He paused at the door. "But tonight, you're free. Sleep well, Juliet." He left. I locked the door, sat on the bed, and cried. Not from sadness, from relief. The next morning I woke to sunlight and the smell of coffee. Someone had left a tray outside my door. Breakfast, fresh clothes in my size, a note in precise handwriting. "Take your time, I'll be in my office when you're ready. Third door on the left. Hyun-woo." I showered, dressed in the jeans and soft sweater someone had left. They fit perfectly. Creepy or thoughtful? I couldn't decide. Hyun-woo's office was all dark wood and leather. He sat behind a massive desk, on the phone, speaking rapid Korean. When he saw me, he ended the call. "Sleep well?" "Better than I have in months," I admitted. "Good." He gestured to the chair across from him. "Coffee?" "Please." He poured from a French press, added cream without asking. He'd been paying attention. "Your husband called 16 times last night, texted 43. He's currently parked outside my gate with 2 friends, demanding I release you." My stomach dropped. "What?" "Don't worry, my security is handling it." Hyun-woo slid a tablet across the desk, live feed of the gate. Andrew paced beside his BMW, looking disheveled and desperate. 2 men in suits stood with him, clearly uncomfortable. "He thinks you're holding me hostage," I said. "Are you?" "No," Hyun-woo met my eyes. "You can walk out right now. Security will escort you safely. Your husband will never know what happened here. You can go back to your life. Or we stay. We call a lawyer. We start the process of extracting you from that marriage and building something new." He leaned forward. "But Juliet, understand what you're choosing. I'm not a good man. I won't pretend to be. My business operates in gray areas. I have enemies. Anyone close to me is in potential danger." "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you deserve the truth." He pulled something from his desk drawer, a small velvet, "and because I want you to understand what I'm offering." He opened it. Inside was a ring, not a diamond, an emerald, surrounded by smaller stones, set in platinum. Stunning, expensive, significant. "This was my grandmother's," Hyun-woo said quietly, "the only thing I have from her. She told me to give it to someone who understood that power isn't about control, it's about choice." "That's not a proposal," I said, heart hammering. "It's a promise," he corrected. "Stay with me and you'll never be powerless again. You'll finish your master's. You'll teach if you want, or build something entirely new. You'll have resources, protection, freedom." He closed the box. "But most importantly, you'll have yourself back, the version of you that existed before Andrew convinced you to be smaller." Tears burned my eyes. "This is crazy. I've known you for 12 hours. "Yes? You could be a terrible person." I am, in many ways. I don't love you. Not yet, Hyunwoo agreed, but you will, and I'll earn it. He stood, walked around the desk, knelt in front of my chair. Juliet, I'm not asking you to marry me today. I'm asking you to choose yourself, to take the power your husband tried to steal and use it to build the life you deserve. He held up the ring. Wear this, not as my wife, as my partner, as someone under my protection, as a message to your husband and anyone else that you belong to yourself now, and anyone who tries to diminish you again will answer to me. I looked at the ring, at Hyunwoo, at the life he was offering. Dangerous, uncertain, real. If I do this, I whispered, if I stay, I want honesty, complete honesty about your business, your life, what I'm walking into. You'll have it. And I want my independence, my own money, my own choices. Already arranged, my accountant is setting up accounts in your name. And if this doesn't work, if I decide to leave, Hyunwoo's expression softened. Then you leave with enough money to start over, a lawyer to finalize your divorce, and my protection until you're safe. No strings. He meant it. I could see it in his eyes. Okay, I said, I'll stay. Hyunwoo slid the ring onto my finger. Perfect fit. Then let's go tell your husband. We walked to the gate together. Security held Andrew back as we approached. When he saw me, saw the ring, his face went white. Juliet, what the hell is that? Freedom, I said simply. You're wearing his ring? Andrew's voice cracked. You've known him for one night. And in one night, he's shown me more respect than you did in 3 years. This is insane. You're my wife. Not for long, I held up my hand. My lawyer will be in touch. Don't fight it, Andrew. You'll lose. You can't do this. He looked at Hyunwoo. You can't just take someone's wife. I didn't take her, Hyunwoo said coldly. I just offered her something better. She'll come back, Andrew said desperately. When she realizes what you are, she'll come back. No, I said. I won't. Because whatever he is, he sees me, and that's something you never did. We turned and walked back to the house. Behind us, Andrew screamed threats, promises, apologies. None of it mattered anymore. Inside, Hyunwoo closed the door. Regrets? He asked. I looked at the ring on my finger, at the mansion around me, at the man who'd given me back myself. Ask me in 3 months, I said. But right now, no regrets. Hyunwoo smiled. Good. Because we have a lot of work to do, starting with making sure your husband never forgets the cost of underestimating you. And for the first time in years, I smiled back, ready for whatever came next.